welcome to Who Dares Rolls. I am your host Mike B, and here we are again for another weekly rumble-tumble roundup of board game shenanigans. Of such there is bits and pieces. Right, so I suppose without further ado, in the week that has seen the weather turn from monsoon to heatwave, as I sit here now slowly perspiring for your own enjoyablement, that thing. See, I'm a heat stroke has struck it now. For you, anyway, what have I played? So we played a few bits. So recap, actually, last week I didn't tell you, we did more King's Dilemma, which is the Game of Thrones, but not Game of Thrones board game. Of us playing advisors, the king, and doing stuff. I will not delve too deeply into what occurred, but in case any of you get to play it, because it would be quite spoilerish. However, I will say that I was responsible for inadvertently, basically, getting someone into power, possibly for a very long time, and other stuff of just generally, yes. Yes, it's kind of like almost really pretty much that I kind of shuffled Sauron into power. It's kind of how it feels, under the noses of the others, and shit got real, and other stuff has gone on. It's as I say, all I will say in it, I love how the narrative is building in this game. I really like how it's just kind of, this world is kind of growing, and the histories behind it is growing. And if you're a really fan of narrative fantasy storytelling games and a fan of things like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, any of that sort of stuff, there's a lot here to enjoy, and it's very good. I'm really enjoying it. There's something in the news that I will catch back on that in a minute. Anyway, so yeah, King's Dilemma, really good, really enjoying it. It's really solid. Maybe I'll do a review video once we finish playing through the whole campaign, I think. I don't know how I'm going to do that without really spoiling it, but I will say, if you're a fan of that big narrative stuff, it's great. So Friday we played, after much discussion of what we were going to play, which we didn't know what that was. We wanted to do some dice chucky stuff. Actually, Ben wanted some more spreadsheet stuff. And we ended up as a happy compromise on Empires of the North, which is the Imperial Settlers 2.0 kind of. I still like it. I think it's very good. It does feel a little bit that you are limited by, because the decks as preset for each of the civs, it's very dependent on how your cards come out. And I was playing a different civ this time as I tried one out, and it wasn't until I reached the bottom of my deck that I found about 2 or 3 cards that would have been really useful to have at the start of that deck to kind of get the engine building. It was fun, it worked out fine, and I do like it. I like how it's a much more streamlined version of Imperial Settlers, and it certainly plays better than that. But just bear in mind that there is, if you miss the trick on it, you're a bit hung out to dry. But it was good. I love the art, love the design on it. It's fantastic. Blah, 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 blah. Then we played Don't Mess with Cthulhu, because that's just a fun little up to 5 or 6 player, I think, traitor game. Plays well in 4, and that was fun. It's getting more, always entertaining. Any of those, but that is quite good. Resistance is quite good. Don't Mess with Cthulhu, all good, all easy. If you at least 4 of you around the table, you can enjoy that. So we did that. And I'll be playing a bunch of stuff this weekend, so next week we'll cover more stuff. Right, let's do some board game news. Here is the news. Board game news. That's what we're going to do. So, Dune Imperium is getting an expansion. The Rise of Ix. Why do they do this? Anyway, the Rise of Ix, it's going to add some more cards, more playable characters you can throw into there, and dreadnoughts, big ships that you can use in battles. That's kind of, I've skimmed over it. So it looks kind of cool. I mean, more Dune Imperium is kind of cool, so we get in that. I'm on board to see what's going to come with that, but I enjoy Dune Imperium, so more of that kind of sounds kind of cool. Then there's Dune House of Secrets from Portal. The pre-order is up now for it. They're only doing a limited, I think it's 1,500 copies of the the English version of it, which will be the special all pimped out version from the pre-order campaign, which they're doing internally at at Portal. They're releasing bits of information at the moment. It's all kind of be cosmetic stuff, so I don't think there's any real solid gameplay elements that you're not going to get anyway. They've also said there's a companion website, so this is based on the detective system, which I need to get played and finish off the most recent one, which name now escapes me. Oh God, the Vienna Connection. I need to do that. Anyway, back to this. It's got a website. It's going to have some video stuff, so formation video and stuff, which will work a bit like a video game cutscene between scenes in the game. Sounds kind of cool. So we'll see. I mean, Dune is a huge, rich universe of stories, so it definitely sounds like it's setting itself up to be great. We hope that is the case. As we said, so that's that. There's lots of June. June is the thing at the moment. Restoration Games have announced a couple of rather cool kind of sounding stuff. They're doing crossbows and catapults, reversion of that. It's probably going to be expensive because of what I recall of that was just a big lot of plastic of you firing and knocking castles down. But it sounds kind of cool. Well, the one that really interested me was they're doing Thunder Road, which is a Mad Maxian vehicular combat game. It had like a rolling trek thing, kind of cool, a bit like Dark Future from Games Workshop, but a much more simplified, easier version to do. They messed around with that. They're doing a tweak to it. I think it's going to be called Thunder Road Vendetta or something. But Restoration Games have been pretty good at doing a really good job of taking existing stuff and making it even cooler. So I will definitely be watching that with interest. There was something else they announced that's gone out my brain, so we'll move on from that. So the other news I was mentioning from earlier at the top was about King's Dilemma, and they have now announced there is going to be a Queen's Dilemma game, which is kind of cool. So it's like a sequel to the King's Dilemma. Using a similar system, you again would be kind of advising, but this time it looks like there's going to be a board of the actual kingdom that you'll be placing stuff on with that narrative element and more stuff. So it kind of sounds like it's just kind of really kind of doubling down on that thematic-y, give you a bit more sort of like storytelling rather than the abstracted version in the original game. It does sound cool, and I think probably that will be even better version of the existing thing. If they can capture the storytelling and all the stuff that we've seen in the version we played, I'm well up for that, well on board for that. So this Queen's Dilemma coming, I presume, next year. Eric Lang has designed something to do with exploding kittens. Who would have thought that was going to happen? Seems to be like a collection of all the best bits of all the exploding kittens. Your viewpoint on that will be, I suppose, how much you enjoy exploding kittens and if there even is a best bit. But there you go. I've played it a couple of times. It was fun. It was a nice distraction. I don't know. There we go. Speaking of Eric, actually, he has finally teased and announced that there is a Blood Rage expansion coming. He tweeted it a little while ago. It was on this tweet around here somewhere. So yeah, Blood Rage. What's that going to be? And speaking of Blood Rage, Ankh is shipping at the moment. I shall have hopefully my copy in a week or so, maybe. I don't know, earlier. Some people I know, I've looked at Board Game Trading and chat, people have already had their copies arrived this morning. So they are shipping them. So I got Ankh. I backed it in anger because I just wanted to complete the trilogy of the Blood Rage, Rising Sun and Ankh. I quite like the bits of what they're doing. Though I've never played enough of Rising Sun, if I'm honest with you. I need to play more of it, preferably with a larger player count. Ankh, I did it because it's Lang and because it's dudes on the map, and it was kind of cool. It looks kind of cool. I really didn't, if I'll be honest with you. It's kind of like I just went in blindly with it. So I'm hoping that actually we get a decent game out of this, and that I'm not just back to Turkey. It looks kind of cool. I got renewed my excitement at it by looking at the unboxing stuff they were doing on the Kickstarter page the other day. And I'll be nice. Always owning stuff is nice. There's something just incredibly therapeutic of opening up a board game and looking at all the good stuff, especially a cool mini game. Let's be honest, all the plastic crack in there is always kind of nice. So that's happening soon. I will do a video of that when that occurs, preferably try and do an actual proper unboxing rather than the slapdash rubbish efforts that I usually put out. And then on Kickstarter there is Orlog Dice, which is the dice game from the video game Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Never played that, if I'm honest with you. However, Carl, who I work with, one of the whippersnappers I work with, one evening we'd having discussion, he said he would really love to have a physical version of this dice game. And I should happen to flick onto the thing and see it was in the works at that point in time. And now it's actually hit Kickstarter. So I've backed it because it's very reasonable, actually. It's about 25 quid and you're getting a lot of bling in there. And it kind of looks cool. I like dice and it's got some really nice components and stuff. So have a look at that if you've played the video game. I'm sure your interest will vary depending on that, but it looks kind of cool. That's the thing. That's it. I think that's it for the news. I think that is. Yes, I'm going to say that's it. Fuck it, that's it. What else have I been doing? I watched the end of the season of Loki. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought Tom Hiddleston was fantastic. The acting was great. It had a very Doctor Who vibe all the way through the season, to be fair. It did feel very Doctor Who-ish. I think the ending kind of felt a little bit too much like, hey, we're setting up for more stuff and things. It could have been a bit more, I don't know. Anyway, it was fun, but yes, this episode before I kind of enjoyed because Richard E. Grant turned up in it, which instantly makes stuff 100 times better by just having him in it. But that was kind of cool. We watched Black Widow, which I enjoyed it purely as a pistachio, a Bondian style Marvel movie. I appreciate the Black Widow character never really was given proper thing, and it still doesn't feel that she really did. She kind of felt like she was playing second fiddle to Florence Pugh playing her sister in it, who I thought was exemplary, was really good, and she kind of stole the show, I felt. David Harbour was nice to see him in it, but he kind of felt totally superfluous to requirements and kind of missed opportunity. And in fact, it was a bizarre thing. Ray Winstone, great as a villain, but really underused. And what accent did he have? Definitely one of those you don't think too hard about. If you want to take it as that Bondian style Marvel movie, I actually kind of find it was kind of cool. Some moments were really well done. I like some of the needle drops in it. Some of the music choices were great. Some of it looked kind of cool. And generally, on a whole, I enjoyed it for what it was. It's not changing the world, certainly. I felt a little bit that it's a shame that they didn't kill off. Clearly, obviously, she wasn't going to die, but didn't kill off any of the exemplary, the secondary characters, or father or something, because kind of they never did anything. It would have maybe upped the stakes. I don't know. I'm just chucking out there. But yeah, Black Widow. I paid for it on Disney Plus for like 20 quid. I took the punt on it because actually the missus owed me £20. I said, keep the £20. Let's splash out for Black Widow. So it was kind of cool. It was all right. It was quite. I quite like James Bond, so it had that James Bond feel to it. That's what I'll say. And I know there's a load of shit over Taskmaster because people really didn't like the changes they made to that. I wasn't a huge Marvel comic book fanboy, so I could deal with what they did. And again, Taskmaster in this was kind of the odd job to Winston's Goldfinger, kind of, if I'll say that. But it was good. It was fun. It was entertaining. Switch your brain off and enjoy that. It's much better than Tomorrow War, which I covered, I think, the other week. I think I did. If not, it's awful. But yeah, it's awful. And then Empty Man. So on Disney Plus or on Star, they've popped The Empty Man, which, if you look at the trailers on that, looks like a throwaway teen, a bit Slender Man-ish, a bit sort of crappy teen horror thing, evoked Candyman type stuff. It's actually a million times better than that. I believe its director was David Pryor, who previously had involvement with Fincher. I think he was like his assistant AD or so. He had lots of involvement with Fincher, and has kind of a Finchian feel to it. It is essentially kind of very Lovecraftian, in that it's dealing with sort of death cults and satanic cults, the end of the world type stuff, and sort of that existential cosmic horror is going on in there. And it's a really good Lovecraftian horror movie. I will say that. If you're a fan of that, then go watch it. It's good. James Badge Dale is really good in it. I really like him and stuff. He doesn't turn up very much, and he's kind of pops up, but he's really great in there as this ex-cop investigator looking into a missing daughter that's looks like they've been involved in this cult. It deals with all sorts of, it's just all over the place in regards to, it's like about 2 hour, 20 minute movie, I think it is. It throws a lot of storyline in there. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's got a lot of stuff from about 10 different movies wedged into this one. So stick with it. It's got some genuinely pretty scary shit going on in here. I thought there was a couple of good scenes that were really like, ooh, that was good. And it's dealing with this kind of cosmic dread. And it's definitely not a fluffy movie. It's definitely one by the end of it, you're kind of like, I feel a little bit depressed now. But yeah, if you want to find your Lovecraftian style kind of Death Cult sort of end of the world, that kind of almost the King in Yellow feel of that kind of eking of loss of sanity and something going on in the edges of the thing. It was really good for that, and I rave it. It's really undersold. It was, I believe, Fox had it and Disney took over it, kind of got buried, and they put it out with a dipshit trailer and then kind of buried it. You can't even buy it on Blu-ray DVD. They don't even deem it was worth putting onto there. So it's only on Star's Disney Plus Star or whatever it is. Anyway, it's on there. If you've got that, I would strongly say go and watch it because it was cracking, really well done, as that sort of feel of thing. Yes, that's my tip for you. Other than that, I think that's it really for this week. There's not really much. I'm very hot. I'm literally melting here. But yeah, there you go. That is the news and the stuff and what we've played for the last week. I dropped the Mandala Stones review at the start of the week. I've got the Die of the Dead one that I need to just finish editing and drop out. I've still got Charlie's Grail games, actually, that I completely forgot about that I need to edit. And this video will be coming out as well. Hopefully I can get some stuff played over this weekend. Some fun stuff, and if there's so, I will get back to you with that. Oh yes, Expo, so UK Games Expo, so it's going ahead. There was a whole hoo-ha about it in regards to the dropping of restrictions, which happened, I think, Monday. The general feeling I have at the moment on this, even though I've got hotel rooms booked, essentially sat there waiting for me, is I'm not sure I'm going. It seems incredibly reckless at this point in time. The inflation rate is rising. It just seems, whilst they're doing what they can, and I think they're enforcing as best they can mask wearing and stuff, and I'm double vaxxed, it just seems a little stupid. So currently my feeling on the matter is I'm not going to do Expo this year. I'm not going to do it. I just think it's sensibly leave it a year is how I feel. We'll see how we get nearer the date, but at the moment, yeah, that's how I feel. I'm booked off for it, and I've got the hotels booked. It's paid for from a year or two ago, but I think, you know what, I'll take the hit rather than the other, which seems kind of mad. Let's go to a big thing. I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling. So yeah, Expo, I don't know. I'll see. At the moment, my feelings are that I'm going to give it a miss this year because let's do it next year. Hopefully there's some semblance of order next year. We'll see. Well, we'll see. But the moment is, if you're expecting me to be there, well, I'm not going to be fucking there. Okay? Just so you know that. Other than that, there's probably other stuff. I can't think what it is at the moment. Have yourself a great week. I'll be back in a week or so. Some point down the line, I'll be back with some more of this nonsense and some other things. Yes. Oh, congratulations to Watch Your Pages. 10 years this year. And so is Shut Up and Sit Down. We're a year behind them. Unbelievably, Who Dares has been going for 9 years. It's 2012 we started, around about. Though the group was running before that, but the actual website kind of came online about 2012. So yeah, next year will be the 10 year of Who Dares Rolls. That's quite an accomplishment that we've been around this long and got this many subscribers. Have yourself a lovely week. I'll catch up soon. Until then, play fucking board games. All right? Ta! Bye-bye.